Oh, okay.
Come on.
Well,
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to SBS. I have a little speech here. As some of you may know, this is our Gallery 180 section here at Stanley Beeman and Sears. And we're having our current exhibit, which is Grownupland by artist Leisa Rich. Leisa is both a textile artist and an educator. Her work is widely exhibited here, stateside and abroad. She's recently coming from Canada. That was a bicentennial,
Biennial, yep.
International biennial, which she has exhibited in more than once. And she also has exhibited in Europe. That's correct? Yes. And she's featured in various publications and visual media. Leisa writes on her website, and I quote, "I use old materials and fiber art techniques in new ways and transform new materials and techniques in ways they were not originally intended for." What you see exhibited around you, 1, 2, 3, for example, bears testament to Leisa's work. Leisa invites us all to share into the experience of artistic exploration by being a co-creator with her. Several of her tactile pieces are interactive. Again, this is interactive, that one is interactive, as well as that exhibit down there, 2 stops down. And all of them stimulate our senses beyond the visual. We're very happy to have Leisa here with us. Please welcome her once again and enjoy the show. Thank you.
Thank you all for being here. And I'm going to talk briefly, maybe 5 to 7 minutes. I'll try to keep it to. But I wanted to give you a little bit of background. Before I do so, though, I'd really like to extend a thank you first to Zoe, who introduced me. And it was my participation, along with some other Atlanta artists in Sixfold Collective, a group, at the AIA Storefronts project that they do, when Zoe was first introduced to my work through this group work that we did. And when I got the phone call from her saying she wanted SBS wanted to consider me to have a show in this exhibition, it couldn't have come at a more timely, in a more timely manner, because I was at that moment feeling really frustrated and needing to have a large solo exhibition with all of these ideas I had. And so a team of them came over, David and Zoe and
Joy.
Joy came over, that's right. Joy's here. She's here, right there. And they came and on a leap of faith, because, of course, my house can't accommodate, it accommodates little bits and pieces of this, but it certainly can't accommodate these. And this is just a fraction of what's in this head. I really desire to go about 50,000 times larger than this, kind of Ernesto Neto, you know, those knitted sculptures, large, I mean, I really think corporate, huge, massive, in a variety of materials, but I'm one person. Up until this summer, when I had a university student, I've never had any kind of help before. I've done it all on my own. And I lost track because I saw my friend Anne. Hi, Anne. Anyway, I want to give you a little bit of background. So once Stanley Beeman and Sears came over and they gave this idea to me that I could use this space, and I came and saw the space and went, wow, this is really beautiful space. So I want to tell you where this all comes from, because I didn't know it myself until I went to graduate school. I went to, I'm Canadian by birth. I'm now a dual citizen. Yes, I got to a second time I've gotten to vote. So, yes, and I bet you can guess who I voted for. Anyway, I was deaf as a child. I am still legally deaf. I am deaf in my right ear, and I only have 60% hearing in my left ear. So when I knew I was going to have this incredible, extraordinary space, I thought about what kind of a show do I want to have. And I could have just put in pieces that I had, which I did. But I also made a lot of new work, and I did a lot of thinking as a result of the MFA I got in 2007 from University of North Texas. When I was faced to confront, why do we create? There are a lot of artists here and architects who are also artisans. We are all, many of us are very creative who are in this. There's a whole bunch of students and 2 professors from Jacksonville State University in Alabama who have driven to see the show. Thank you.
What's up?
So, you know, we are constantly trying to confront what are we creating for? I am not a pretty picture painter. You know, I'm not going to just put something on somebody's wall that I've quickly dashed off. For me, it's all about the concept and statements I need to make and things I need to address. But it wasn't until I was 45 years old, in the middle of my MFA, that I went, why do you create what you create? And the reason I came to a realization of what I was doing was because of a class I took that made me confront that. So in confronting that, I realized that my deafness, which I had spent my entire life basically ignoring, because that's what my parents did, you know. But I spent 2 years in the hospital from age 2 until I was almost 5. And during that time, the things that I can remember are finger painting in the hospital art room, capturing scuttling clouds, blue skies, stormy Canadian skies, and also my mother, even though she was a working woman, she started the first personnel placement agency in Canada, she took the time at night after her long work day was done to make me Barbie and Ken clothes. Little things that she made out of satins and laces for Barbie, and little teeny tiny sweaters that she would knit for Ken. And those tactile things, those satins, those laces, those nubbly things, I didn't realize how much they lived with me. Then when I got out of the hospital, we had a big celebration, Disneyland, 1965. I was 5 years old. I will never forget being sat down on the ride in the It's a Small World. And going through that, just a person who was newly hearing, and listening to that tinny music, which you can play on my sound table here, listening to that tinny music. It's a world of laughter, a world of tears. How apropos today, right? How apropos that song still is today, especially now. And the colors, and the ride, and the experience. And I think it was that moment that Leisa the artist was born. And, you know, to kind of fast forward, tonight here is the person who's known me the longest is sitting right there. Mary Lynn and I went to Interlochen Arts Academy in 1975, and we graduated in 1978. And so she's got all kinds of diss on me. Do not talk to her, please. Do not ask her any questions, because she's got the real deal diss. Anyway, I went there on piano scholarship, and dance was my minor, and it was mononucleosis that led me to start creating art. So it's always been these illnesses and these experiences around, you know, medical challenges and all of these things. So back to why I created this show. Somebody I spoke with recently said that if they were to do a show for SBS, they would think about architecture, and they would think about creating houses, and they would think about doing things that were marketable and that SBS would buy and place in corporation. I'm really terrible at marketing. I just don't think that. I'm not wired. My husband's giggling over there. I'm totally not wired that way. It's like, it's me, and it's all about me. and it's like, oh, you want to buy my piece? Thank you, you know. And so I didn't even think about that. I thought about experience. But then in thinking, I thought, that's no different. Because architecture and buildings want you to have an experience when you go into them, to be enveloped in a certain way, to be comfortable in certain ways, or to address needs of the public, whatever. And I realized that what I really wanted to do was not so very different from doing that piece of art for an architecture purpose. And that was to bring people into my world and into my environment, and to make them feel comfortable, to make them feel loved, to make them feel hugged, to get them to touch my work. It makes me crazy. I literally have to put my hands in pockets or behind, or hold my purse or whatever when I am in art galleries, because I have an inclination to touch the work. I wanted to create sound. This sound symphony table, and if you haven't tried it, please do, because I wanted you to hear what I hear. I can't triangulate sound. So my sounds are all a bunch of jumbled up sounds, which make me seem like an airhead sometimes. Make me have to sort of scan a room, move my head differently, appear to have understood you when maybe I didn't at all understand you. So I've completely and totally adjusted in my life to not being able to do so. I was going to hire somebody to help me with these sounds, but they wanted me to download music. And I said, no, I don't want music. I don't want to create a pretty, nice symphony where the music I want these people, you to use your cell phones, you individuals who are on we're all on our cell phones now, right? I wanted you to be together at a table, creating this symphony that might not be a symphony, it might be a cacophony sometimes. It might be discordant. It might be bad. It might really irritate you. And to just experience that feeling of an invisible disability. Of course, most people coming to try that out won't even know that. I'm kind of privy to this knowledge because I've been asked to do it in small artist talk. But for a little while, you're standing there and you're communicating with other people using your cell phone, which is very insular. And it might be great, might be not so great, and it emulates the human experience. And just lastly, I broke this show up into 4 lands, evocative of Disneyland. So you've got Innocent Land, which is my childhood, which is the innocence of coming into creating with just that innocence and that purity. And coming through Innocent Land, and this is from somebody at the goat farm, who will remain nameless, who when she came to I met her for the first time 5 months ago, and when she came to my studio and she looked around, she went, holy shit, this is like hyper-reality. So I named it in her honor, Hyper-Reality Land. And then you go to Interactive Land, which is self-explanatory, and then Listen Up Land, which is brilliantly Joy thought of putting Innocent Land and Listen Up Land on the pillars. I love that. And then, the show extends down the hallway. So that gives you a very little tiny bit of information about why I did this show. I drove the people at SBS crazy. I think that, most artists come here and they put up their work and they're gone in like 5 hours, and I was here for 4 days with an installer and making all kinds of demands. And yes, I am a little bit of a diva, but it only comes from a passion and an energy and a drive to share what's in my head and what I want to create with all of you, and to touch you and to hug you and to suck you in, to forget reality and to suspend the problems and the challenges. They say that people viewing art, a successful piece of art, is if you hold your viewer for longer than 3 seconds. I want my cake and I want to eat it too. I want you to have to be in front of one of my artworks for 10 minutes, 2 minutes, whatever time, but I don't want you to walk by and go, oh, that's nice, you know, and just keep going. So I want to say a thank you to one more person and to friends. My husband is right there in the suit jacket. We've been married 31 years almost, and the guy is brilliant. And okay, I can't claim 100%, darn, 3D printing capabilities. My husband is, what do I call him, you guys?
Cheese.
The big cheese. I call him the big cheese on Facebook. He's brilliant, and he helps me, these ideas I have for 3D printing, which the gramophones were,
I was going to ask
they
you.
were based on It's a Small World, the flowers.
So you made the graphic.
We made them. I designed them. We kept revising the design. We broke our 3D printer, which is still broken because of these guys. We had to order new parts, cha-ching, 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 because of these guys. And then there are more 3D printed. So, you know, we're really futurists, and we're really working, you know, in a variety of different ways. And he puts up with a very psychotic, talented, passionate, loving wife who's a great cook and feeds him every night. And thank you to my friends, you know, and everybody who came tonight. And Polly left. She helped me set up the show. I don't know if Terry's here yet. Terry helped me install. So anybody have any questions? I know the Jacksonville State University people, just like, somebody said they might ask me some questions. If not, don't worry about it. We'll just keep having fun. You got a question?
No, I was like, thumbs up on having fun.
Thumbs up. So please do enjoy, and please do play with Interactive Land. And if you haven't tried the Sound Symphony yet, just follow the instructions on the little record albums.
Apparently she wants it.
And thank you so much, everybody, for making this an amazing opening.